How are we? Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, pal?
I'm okay, you?
Very, very well. We are a little later in starting today. We had with a live putter session, which actually will be not shown until the following week.
We are going to experiment with it again, but we learned some things.
We learned some things. We had Paul Hurrien on for a little putter session, which actually I think people are going to love that session when they see it.
Yeah.
Really, really cool stuff. A little bit less in the fitting sort of knowledge.
More of a lesson.
A little bit more how we would use
technique.
Quintic for that.
Yep.
Something that selfishly I needed was a little putter lesson. So it was great to have Paul on, and we'll have him on again.
Are we going to have him on to talk armlock as well?
We definitely are going to have Paul on to talk armlock. He done a really nice piece, which he sent a link to. If anyone's interested on the kind of science behind armlock, go to paulhurrien.com. Go to Paul's website. He recently done an article on it and talks about some of the benefits of armlock and the face stability and the reduction of face rotation and things like that, was generally are good things for most people.
Any conclusion as to whether he thinks it's going to get the boot?
No.
He's stuck with the scientific part of it?
I think everyone is probably
just waiting for the
it.
day.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah.
Especially the more that we talk about how it may be beneficial in stabilising the club face and things like that, the more science that comes out to basically back it as an improvement when we use tools like Quintic.
Yeah.
I think it's highly likely to get the boot.
I agree. Yeah, when you can start to the tiny degrees of rotation that it stabilizes all these things. When the USGA sees some of that, they might just be going, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit.
Well,
what, is it Bandit's birthday?
Apparently it's Bandit's birthday.
Well, if it is, happy birthday.
El Bandito, happy birthday, my man.
And if it isn't, happy whatever.
3 years ago, Bandit was flying over to Toronto for a fitting.
That's right.
And Bandit and I
lifetime
watched.
ago.
Yeah, we watched the World Cup semi-final together here. It was it was a semi-final. I think it was a semi-final. England, Croatia in the semi-final. I think Bandit and I watched together here.
Oh, nice.
TXG.
What a memory.
I know. Fantastic. So, what's new in the world of golf, Matty boy?
I didn't watch a ton over the weekend.
No.
How was that tournament? I couldn't get into it. I didn't end up watching. I took it really easy this weekend. Played a bit of golf, but mostly just kind of lounged around, did some barbecuing.
I did not watch really any of it.
It's your birthday too. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Older than he once was.
Devastating.
What's the tournament coming up? I'm trying to think of what I'm looking forward to. No offense to the Rocket Mortgage Classic, I just didn't get into it this particular week.
Well, my sort of golfing calendar, to be honest, at the minute the tour switches goes Irish Open, Scottish Open, Open Championship.
Okay, there you go.
I'm really only thinking European Tour at that point.
Could definitely be looking forward to the old Open.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone for the birthday wishes. Thank you. Scottish Open at Renaissance.
Ooh. Good,
this week, Paddy? This week. Yeah, this week.
Paddy says yes.
So, and then obviously, off to St. George's, Royal St. George's
for the
Open.
Should be a good one.
Absolutely. We missed out last year. Shane Lowry still the defending champion.
True. I
from.
forgot we didn't have an Open last year.
Yeah, from County Down. Is that where you won?
Oh boy.
I know. It's how long it's been.
Don't blame us. It was 2 years ago.
It was a while.
From that place I think so. I think you're right.
Yes, John. Yep, 30 today. Yep, I'll take that. I'll
right
take
about
it.
there.
Somewhere in and around there, maybe 8 years later, but we'll take 30.
Well, shall we?
Portrush, that's
Port
what it
Rush,
was, not
of
County
course.
Down, of course. Portrush.
Okay.
Portrush. So that was that, and then Renaissance is nice club, just on the north in the kind of Berwick Gullen area. And then off for the Open Champs.
Who do you like for the Open Championship this year?
I just think John Ram is in great form. I think he has a great ball flight for the wind. He plays well in links by his Irish Open win.
Okay.
I think he could be the man to beat.
I'm going to pick Louis.
I think remarkable consistency in the majors.
I just feel like it's got to happen. It's got to happen. He's playing way too well. He didn't.
I would love to see it.
I don't think he screwed up the U.S. Open. I think he just got outplayed. He needed to make birdies come in. And he didn't. So
I mean, Rahm's birdie finish really put the squeeze on him.
It did.
To have to do something in that tee shot in 17, just slightly tweaking it down there, and it was
solid
done.
Right?
It was done.
So no, I like Louis for the Open.
I like that.
We'll
I
see.
like that pick.
We'll see.
All right, let's see.
Take this one here from W Robs 01.
Okay.
W Robs 01 currently plays the Fuji Pro 2.06X. He's looking to upgrade to a Ventus for a more stable feel. Similar launch. Quick tempo launch conditions are good with the Pro.
I think you'll find Ventus Blue to be upgrade to Ventus. You actually didn't specify which color.
It's a tough one, eh?
Yeah. Mikey, can you do me a favour? Can you jump on Fuji's website, match up the EI on the tip section on Fuji Pro and Ventus Red? I've got a funny feeling it might be a closer to Ventus Red than it will be to Ventus Blue. That Fuji 2.0 is not the stiffest tip out there.
Pro or too expensive?
Just Pro, regular Pro. We will check in that one for you.
Okay.
Give you
Coming back.
an accurate response.
Fantastic. Let's take this one quickly from Vince. Vince is asking, what are your thoughts on component clubs for those on a budget? And happy birthday. And we'll lump direct-to-consumer clubs into that too. I think we found a lot of great options, especially the budget issue is such that if you want a new set of clubs, it makes it possible. Otherwise, you have to go second hand.
I mean, what's happening right now? From what I can see is even the DTC, companies, they're starting to go, well, here's our base price, right?
Yes.
It's kind of like we always talk cars, but like here's the base model, and it's very inexpensive.
Yep.
But by the time you add this and add this and add this, you're kind of right there with kind of what
the
other companies are offering, and most of them are offering these shaft and grip options for free now. So, I mean, if you happen to fit into the base specs, great. If you have to upgrade it, you're pretty much not saving anything anymore.
No.
I think that's the problem with it. Component performance-wise, though, you're going to get comparable results.
Yeah, the components are good. Absolutely.
Really good.
And this 3.2, Pro 3.3.
That's torque,
Yeah,
EI tip. Let's see.
Grab another one while we're doing that.
Okay, buddy.
I got a problem with my current Ping G400 LST. Used to bomb it at 76 grams with the hazard of 6.5. Still got at 110 swing speed, but finding it tough to load anymore. Okay, so this is a shaft that he's fallen out of love with, it would appear. Swings at 110. Suggestions. Probably keep the head, but maybe swap out a different shaft. What do you like that would maybe give a little bit more feel?
You're going to want to up the torque a little bit. You're going to want to get into something with that. Higher torque. I would say, I think Ventus Blue is just kind of made itself kind of standalone with how stable it is at that such incredible feel. I just feel like it really is the best of the bunch when it comes to that. The Acra TZ5 is another one that's very stable but feels great. I really like that. Torque is a touch higher, even though it's a fairly stiff profile. That'd be another really nice one for you. But I think maybe part of the problem is you're carrying a bit of weight there at that 110 swing speed. So maybe bring the weight down to like 68, 69.
Okay.
Bring the gram weight down a little bit. So maybe like a TZ5 65 M5, tip at half an inch. You've got a G400 LST, which is a relatively heavy head, so you'll still get a bit of deflection going on there, even at that speed. So
Nice.
should feel better.
Very nice. Joe's Golf is asking, hi guys, I'm looking at the Epic Max driver, club head speed 105 to 107, hits at about 240, 250, but his miss is a block to the right. Shaft would you recommend? I mean, the driver choice seems like a decent choice. Epic Max. What shaft would you recommend?
I would want to try to. I would want to try and maybe get the balance point up a little bit higher, just lighten the feel of the head ever so slightly, just so you get the feel of releasing it a touch more if your block is to the right hand side. So, something, they talk about balance point in inches, right? So something, measured on the 46-inch beam length, something about 23 inches is fairly low balance, something about 25, 26 is fairly high balance, and that goes to show you, the difference between a low balance point shaft and a high balance point shaft is literally about that. Right? So the balance point being higher up the shaft, maybe by 3 inches versus lower down by 3 inches, is literally the difference between Tennessee orange and, something like TPT.
Right, which is very low balance. Right? Yeah.
So I would really maybe say, maybe around that Tennessee orange, maybe an AV raw orange, something like that. Move that balance point up a little bit, Joe, and see if that can get the face to release a little bit more.
I like it. Peter said he sent this just for your birthday celebration. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate that, my man.
Over to you, lad, if you got one ready.
See what we got. We go right to the end here. Joe is asking, LZ 6.5 player need graphite replacement after wrist surgery, MMT 125S, MMT 125 TX, Acra.
Just play one hand.
Just play one hand. Yeah, I would definitely say go with the MMTs. I think the MMT 105 TX is still going to be a little bit light for you at 113 grams. That's what Mikey plays. I would definitely go 125s on those, Joe. I think that would be ideal.
Gotcha.
Red 101 Pro 2.0 106.
And blue?
Yeah.
Check.
Oh,
And check blue as well, see if blue's a little closer. So Ventus red's a touch. Oh, Michael. Half a job over there.
93 Ventus blue. 6S. It's all 6S.
X.
88
On the blue?
on the blue. 95 on the red.
Stand by. Incoming. 92. 95.
Loads. Carry on.
We'll come back to
We'll come back to it.
I saw earlier on actually in the comments a little higher up, Rob was saying he had his first celebrity sighting yesterday. He was
Already?
Somebody shouted over at him, "You're the TXG guy."
No way.
When he was playing, I think maybe yesterday or something.
That's hilarious.
98
On the
Pro
Pro.
2.0 6X.
So the red would be close. Okay, so Ventus red
That was
6X.
for
That would be
this question.
yes.
Ventus Red 6X.
Yeah.
Took us a while, but we
There we
found
go.
you. That's hilarious, though, Rob. Well, we're gonna have Rob back in next week, I believe. So Rob,
Robert.
who knows how many more? Oh, there he is. Celebrity sightings he may. Oh, at Don Valley.
Don
That's
Valley. Yeah.
That's funny. Okay. From Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
Out of curiosity, what things can a customer do for a virtual fitting with you to help the experience? Launch monitor numbers, driving range, etc. Good question.
Stay tuned. We're going to release a video on that this week. It's actually been version 1 was recorded today by Mr. Brath.
Love it.
So we were going to probably tidy that up a little and then record an official version, because we do get this question all the time.
Yeah.
What do people need to do to prepare for the virtual fit?
Perfect. Coming your way.
Stay tuned.
Obi-Wan.
Rob saying, don't tell Mikey about me being at the Munis, in case Mikey doesn't talk to.
We'll play Don Valley actually.
When?
My dad wants to go. That's where he grew up playing.
Was it? Mikey's dad grew up playing Don Valley, Rob.
You're gonna
So
accept
you
it for the
actually,
day?
you actually may see them out there. When does this happen? 24th of never.
38th of June.
38th of June, apparently.
Okay. I think we're around there.
Jeremy's asking recommendation for shallow-faced, high-launch hybrids and fairway woods for use off of the deck.
Okay. Shallow faced.
I mean, there really aren't many shallow-faced hybrids.
Remaining, no.
No, not most of those are relatively on the
I
tall
always
side.
think pings look shallow faced,
Yeah.
but I don't are they actually?
My mind would go to Ping, to be honest. I would
Yeah.
say Ping and TSI 2 are probably the two that kind of spring to my mind.
I think that's good ones.
So, yeah, I think you'd be pretty safe with either of those, Jeremy.
Yep, agreed. Okay, let's go back up a little bit here. Stand by. Speaking of high balance point shafts, can you recommend some high balance point shafts? So you talked about Tensi Orange.
Mm-hmm.
The VA Nemesis is very high.
Very high balance. Yeah, we recently got in the new RPG. And there's the high balance and low balance version of those,
Lovely.
which are really, really nice.
It's Acra.
Acra, yeah, exactly. Those Fuji Pros
Yep.
are higher balance point
Yep.
as well. What else is on there? Am I missing anything?
That I can think of.
No, I think for the most part those are
That's your selection, eh?
those are the main high balance options.
Okay.
Matty boy.
All right. Good.
Um,
Some ones to consider.
Yeah, good question by Cal. I like this because this is not your usual, what shaft do I need? This is hey gents from Utah. For each of you, what videos are you glad are over?
Are over.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
okay.
one are we glad are over? And what videos, stroke initiatives, you look forward to doing the most? Have a great week. Thanks, Kyle. So, what videos have we planned to do that we're glad is done and out the way? And what ones do we look forward to?
In the past, like what have we done in the past that I'm glad we're done with?
Yeah.
Okay. The fairway wood bracket. I don't need to see that again.
No. And yeah, don't waste your typing energy asking for another fairway
No,
bracket.
it's not going to
'cause
happen.
That's not going to happen.
Nor will there be a hybrid bracket.
No, or any other kind of bracket. I think we enjoy the bracket, but by the end of it, the two
It's
of
over,
us,
yeah.
we're glad to see
It's
the back
finished.
of it because
Yes.
it's
grueling.
yeah, it can be.
And I now have to rebuild my golf swing.
I know, it can be a little bit that way.
What are we looking forward to the most? You go first.
I think PGA show. I think it just comes down to PGA show for me is
I was
the
going to say
highlight.
getting on the road somewhere.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
looking
and
forward to
those
getting on
as
the road
well.
somewhere.
I know. Well,
Either
we,
or.
we were getting into our groove with that couple of trips to Carlsbad. We got out there to TaylorMade. Mikey and I made it out to Oceanside.
That's right.
So we were starting to kind of make those trips more regularly, and obviously visiting the OEMs and things like that. So looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopping on a plane.
Yeah.
We are looking forward to hopping on a plane and filming the experience.
Yes, please. This is a cool one. Kev Quest for Cat 1 had a round at Carnoustie on Friday, walking onto the tee with a TXG hoodie. The guy stopped me to spend 10 minutes raving about you guys.
No way.
TXG is worldwide.
That is the best. Where was that? Carnoustie?
Carnoustie.
The very same. Well, that's good to hear.
Pretty cool.
Okay. This is a good question here. Austin, so the Tacoma irons that we reviewed a few weeks ago. Austin wants to get them fitted, which I don't think really is obviously an option since you're buying them online. He's saying, should I go to the fitter first or after I get the club? Should I just get the heads and then go to the fitter? It's basically saying, should I just get the heads and then go to a fitter and try to have a set put together?
I don't. No, I would go the other way around first. Go to the fitter, try and because you're going to present the heads, but he's not going to have shafts to put
Yeah, I was
in them. He's going to
gonna
have to do
say, there's
connectors and stuff like that on them. So
Yeah.
no, I'd go and make sure that at those specs that you can hit something similar, and you actually like them and hit them well, and get some advice from the fitters to whether they think that's a good fit, and then go from there.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
The only way to do it. Okay, we did that shallow face hybrido thing from Heath. Okay, so Heath says started playing again last year, still has his old irons from his 20s. He's now 42.
X16
S300s.
Pros, yeah, I had a set of those.
Sometimes gets fatigued through the back nine. Understandable. Swing weights are in the D6 to D9, too heavy.
Far too heavy.
Yeah, something lighter would be nice for you, I think.
Yeah, get into something about the 105, 110 range. I think that'd be a nice spot to have you in. Definitely feel a little easier. So a little set of modest 105s or even the 120 stiffs at 114 would be fine. But certainly get the weight down from the S300s. That's heavier than most of us need, that's for sure.
Definitely. Heavy
That's
stuff.
for sure.
All right. Paul is a 6 handicap looking for new irons. He's a good ball striker. He's got his eye on the new T100s. But would it be silly to look at MP20 and similar combo sets? So he's basically saying player's cavity like a T100, or would it be silly to go with like something with blades in the short irons and then a cavity in the mid irons? I don't think it's silly, Paul.
No, not silly at all, Paul. I think you'll find that your striking will be a little more precise, and the sole being a little bit thinner will be nice through the turf and stuff, as long as you're not giving up too much distance, and you end up hitting more club in, and obviously we know hitting more club proximity tends to suffer a little bit. 5 irons don't go as close as 7 irons. We know that that's the case. So as long as you've got enough distance to handle it, I don't think it's a bad idea, Paul. But
No.
Go and get thoroughly fit. Talk to someone about your different thoughts, and I think that'd be a good way to go.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah.
Another iron question here, sorry, quickly, just from Andre. Andre's saying, what are your thoughts on creating a JPX 921 Tour set mixed? Okay, so basically, you know how the SEL already is.
Sure.
Forged Tour. He's a 10 handicap. Swing speed 95. I mean, the SEL set is set up that way because that's the way Mizuno recommends it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say you're probably pretty safe.
Very safe.
As long as you're comfortable with your ball striking at your 10 handicap, I don't see any reason why you couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I would say that's
definitely.
probably good. Green light, eh?
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely fine.
Andre, green light for you.
Absolutely. If you could only play one course for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I have not played enough courses to make a decision like that. Have you?
I would one course for the rest of my life. Playing some nice ones. I mean, I don't think I'd get tired of playing Loch Lomond. I don't think I would get tired of that. That was nice. I couldn't say a links course because I would get tired of playing a links course, get my head beaten in off
by
the wind and
the-
all that, so the conditions.
That's
so
fair. Yep.
I mean, to be honest, National Golf Links of America,
I remember you saying that was one of your favorites.
so playable, so fun, great design. I'm going to just say I just love the Hamptons, so I would say
That's for you.
National.
I'm going to wait till next year because I need to play some more cool golf courses before I answer that. I've
we
only
go.
played a few.
There we go. Matty boy, what are some good driving irons for shallow swing plane?
Okay.
Players with a shallow swing plane.
Swing plane.
Maybe a little careful.
Well, you probably, So
driver
one,
irons,
if you're shallow, you probably don't want the thickest soled ones, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
However, you probably aren't going to want the narrowest sole ones because they are pretty low launching. It's a bit of a tricky one.
It is. I think my mind would go to that Callaway.
Yeah.
X4 GT.
Maybe just in the higher loft.
Yeah.
Help you get the launch out of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I think that would be a nice one.
That's
Really,
a good
really nice kind
assessment.
of.
Do you think the Srixon might be too
profile.
wide? Or
Maybe.
Maybe just slightly.
Yeah, it's definitely narrower than it's been.
Yes.
When it was the U85 and the U65.
Agree.
But
No, you're right. The
it's still on
Callaway's.
the wider. Obviously, Titleist have both options.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
So the narrower Titleist, I know there's some new ones around the corner.
There
They're
are.
505 or something
But
like
the
that.
current U500 would
Yeah.
be good choice also.
Yeah.
Okay. Joe, I think this is a follow-up. Joe's saying 125 TX or 125S MMTs. At this point, it's a blind buy, almost certain thinking a cheeky TC. Okay, so TC 201s with MMTs, wind dry tax, and hopefully no vibrations. So Joe earlier asked you.
I think Joe was I think he was like 89 to 91 in a 7-iron. 88
Yes.
to 91 in a 7-iron.
Yes, there he is. There, TrackMan, 88 to 91.
I mean, quite similar to myself. Joe, can I be cheeky and suggest a little TX soft stepped once? I think that could be the happy medium. I think you're a little quick for stiff.
Is there no
is-
X?
There is a TX, yep.
No X.
No
though, I
X,
mean.
no, it goes straight into the TX.
You'd be creating an X though,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah, just softening that up ever so slightly.
Okay. There you go. For you, Joe.
There we go. Dom's saying that, hello guys, thanks for the content as always. I took the T-height video, which is I think at
It's getting up there.
750,000.
Yeah, it's getting up there.
Wild.
Have to have a party when it gets to 2 million.
I took the T-height video and was back to striping the driver again. Glad to hear that. Dom, would you guys be able to advise on hand height with irons and fairway? Hand height. Interesting. So relative to Bryson
Yes.
versus Keegan Bradley.
Yeah,
that type
super
of
low.
like those two.
Yeah, it's something we could mess around with, I guess, and see what it does to your ball flight. It's just it's very personal, though, isn't it?
I mean, it'd be hard for one of us to replicate something that we really don't do, because even though we set up in that position, it's quite hard to retain
don't
it through the swing.
necessarily
You'll
retain it.
probably, you'll probably lose either angle. So
Agreed.
quite a difficult one. Maybe if we see someone swing that does that a little more naturally, it might be an easier one for us.
Something we'll keep an eye out for there, Dom, but I don't know if it's something we can do right offhand, though, but we'll keep it in mind.
Yeah.
Keep
Tricky.
it in mind.
Got one there, pal. Got one
Yep.
here.
Okay, quick one here from Chris. Chris is saying, thanks in advance, keep up the great work. Thanks, Chris. Why would a golfer lean towards a Tennessee white in a 5-wood versus a Tennessee blue?
Really how you want the shaft to perform. I mean, white is a stiffer profile. It's going to deflect less. It's going to match up to someone's timing. If you're a little bit more aggressive and you tend to deflect the blue a little bit too much and sort of get some inconsistencies from deflecting that shaft too much, you're going to want to stabilize that shaft a little bit. It would be down to really timing and deflection, load profile, those types of things, Chris, which, as always, a good fitter can identify those patterns for you with delivery and consistency of the delivery.
Love it. Okay. To you there, lad.
David T, it seems that Strixon with its VT sole can possibly benefit someone with a steep swing. Any other OEMs, the model that you'd recommend a digger look at? You're right in identifying that it is very good for somebody who tends to kind of get that club heading into the ground, quite a lot. That V-sole does spit it back out the other side. Does a nice job with that. Who else has a good sole for that type of thing? I mean, I really don't think anyone else is kind of got a sole that's
Quite as extreme.
No,
I can't.
a couple of companies have got pre-wear in the.
Yeah, Titleist has a nice pre-wear,
yeah,
I find.
Yeah, but no one really has that significant sole. I mean, the other part of it as well that we always have to kind of remember is steeper angles of attack don't necessarily mean that the club is too long in the ground.
Okay.
Like you sometimes look at tour players, you can be 6 degrees down on it with a shallow divot.
Right, it's in and out quickly.
Doesn't mean you're going to take a crater. It's all about low point management, hand position. Is the handle rising up? As it's kind of obviously coming through impact, that's creating, a very short low point. The longer the low point, the more it's heading down for a longer period of time.
Okay.
Lots of people with kind of how they manage the handle can actually have it coming down but back out in a pretty quick fashion as well. So
Right.
those tend to be the better players that do that. And for that reason, that's why they do quite well with thin soles.
Interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of subtleties to that, isn't there?
There is, but I mean, it's kind of open sort of season when it comes to the other soles beyond Strixon. There's no one really doing anything that's all that unique.
No, it's true.
Who else did we see that had a V sole? Was it Hogan? Did we see some Hogans that had V soles?
That might be true.
I think we saw V sole on a Hogan at one point when we tested
Some kind of
theirs.
unique sole. It
Yeah, I
might have
think
been
so.
a little bit more subtle. Maybe those
Yeah.
PTX ones.
Rings a bell for me anyway.
It definitely does. Quick one here from Tate. How is the RPG Tour Gold? I'm assuming we're talking about the new,
Yep.
different from the HPB and LPB.
Just a lot stiffer, just really stiff. I mean, we're going to at some point do a little video, probably a comparison actually to last year's RPG. So the original one that kind of was what Matt and I played.
Right.
If you look at, you can still go in and look at the previous RPG specs. You can look at the EI profile in the tip, mid, and butt sections, and you can see that it's just stiffer all around, but the torque is higher.
Okay.
So to offset a little bit of that stiffness, that boardy, rigid performance. You're going to get a little bit more torque, so you retain some of that feel.
Gotcha. Well said.
Zachary is asking, he's stating that he's recently become interested in the Cobra Supernova.
Oh, yes.
Has Ian looked into the Supernova more? Has Ian settled on a putter? I know he was previously gaming the Spider. Thanks, love the content. I've not looked at it anymore.
You're looking more at your technique at the moment,
I am looking a little bit more at my technique. I think I will change in putter. That Spider on the little brief session we had with Paul doesn't appear to be the right one.
Yeah, I could kind of see that he was kind of saying something about it maybe not being the best.
Yeah, we weren't going to spoil what the punchline was on that, but
Right.
we were looking at one specific metric. We looked at most of it, that it was quite good. Most of the delivery was quite good, but there was a couple of things in the design of that putter that was causing the head to be a little unstable in rotation. It was, start line can be a bit of a guessing game when you've got a lot of rotation of the putter. So,
With you.
We're talking about the rotation of the face within a space of 6 inches, and we want it to rotate 1 degree, whereas mine was rotating up to 5 degrees.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, so that's
Something to stabilize that.
not ideal at all.
Still, I think that Supernova is a cool design putter.
Yeah,
Zachary, for
well,
yourself, keep looking at it.
It was one thing that Paul had said to me. He's like, he did want to tinker with some weight, and
Okay.
that was the unique thing about it. Supernova. It was quite heavy.
Right.
So well worth a try, Zachary, for sure.
All right. From QWERTY. Recently broken 4 F8 irons.
Wow.
Okay. Broke the same way at impact. They had dynamic gold XP90s, all at the top of the ferrule. No rust. Not abusing them. 6 handicap, swing speed around 95. What is up?
Might not be rust on the outside, but there's highly likely rust on the inside.
Especially if it's in the exact same spot every time.
Yeah, I would say they've got rusty. So there's some moisture probably down the grip and actually they've rusted a little bit. I mean, you've got a lot of club head speed, so
That is a lot of club head speed.
on the steeper side. So if you are kind of banging those into the turf a lot and they're just snapping, like, I hate to be blunt about it, but when we get people who come and say, like, all these clubs keep snapping and it's not me, it's normally you. It's normally you. I mean, it's not
It's not a freak accident. It doesn't just occur.
Yeah, we get people all the time who come in and they'll show us shafts that are bent, maybe in the kind of lower tip section. Well, it's because they're steep at high speed.
Yes, right.
And they're presenting the club into the ground, and there's an awful lot of pressure into that shaft. I mean, that's what it is. It's the golf ball does not apply nearly enough pressure to do anything to the shaft.
No,
nothing at all. So it does take a lot of inward pressure into it. So I think an XP90 is far too soft for you anyway.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of swing speed for that.
Yeah,
maybe that's part of it.
Project X65 or something like that would be way more stable for you, QWERTY, in the irons. But I would say highly likely the unfinished, unchromed inside of the shaft has rusted and weakened that shaft.
Gotcha. Quick one from Jeremy asking, have we thought about doing mobile launch monitor comparisons to GC Quad? I like the Mevo, the Swing Caddy. We've done a few, Jeremy. They have not gone great, if I'm honest. They generally don't like the indoors. Not saying no forever, but I would say not anytime soon, unless we could be in an outdoor setting where the rep from the company would come and do it with us, which I'm not sure if I see happening. But yeah, we've tried to do it. It's been a bit of a crapshoot, so not likely to see it anytime soon, if I'm honest.
No. Let's see, what do we have here? Jacko is asking, hi guys, as a reasonably high-speed player, 7-iron at 91, it's pretty high. Mm-hmm. What forgiving traditional lofted irons would we suggest? Is 5 to gap wedge the new 4 to pitch and wedge for high handicappers with speed? So got some speed, not looking for anything that's somewhat jumpy, more traditional.
Lofted iron sets.
I mean, there are still companies out there that are they're offering very traditional lofts. I mean, if you look at Orca Golf, go onto Alex's website, Orca Golf. I want to say Alex's like 6-iron lofts are like 30, 32 or something along those lines, like really weak, like really weak. And that's his belief that kind of, a little bit more loft is beneficial, and the modern day design is not really helping golfers. But that would probably be the the easiest way. And the other part is as well, you can just weaken them ever so slightly.
That's so true. Yeah.
Take something like just say a traditional, like something like a Mizuno 921 Tour or something like that, weaken it a degree or two and take a bit of that offset off. They look really, really nice with offset off, and
That's good advice.
gives you some good options, Jaco. But depends how weak you want them. But Orca Golf would be a kind of bit of one out of left field. Have a look at their lofts.
Love it.
Something to try.
Love it. Another one from Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan.
What aspects of swing, spin, etc. would make you steer someone towards either the Ping G425 Max or LST heads for the 3-wood? So my golf buddy finally fixed his slice and he wants to change from... Okay, so perfect. So his buddy's in the SFT. He's been slicing it. It's just spin profile, right? So if he's not slicing it now and he wants... I mean, if he's ballooning it, you probably want an LST.
Yeah.
If he's not, then the Max is probably just fine.
I think it's highly likely that he won't have changed it enough to go from an SFT to an LST. So I think the
jump.
Max is probably going to give you enough versatility. I mean, it's really neutral, especially with the ability to have it in one of those positions, whether it be the flat ones, slightly closed, slightly open, whatever you need. So
Right.
I think there's tons of versatility to that. So
Yeah.
I would go with the Max.
That's good advice.
Definitely.
A few people said Hogan Wiesel, you were
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. They are good. I remember hitting that and it felt lovely.
Just felt great, eh?
Really, really nice.
Love it.
Our pal D Cooper is
B. Cooper.
Drew is asking, how would you attack swing weight, how to lower it as much as possible in a 48-inch driver? The head weight is already 185.5. Drew, I'd be looking at something like the switch grips concept. Something where you can get a weight as much as 20 grams, a little screw in there, Drew, as much as 20 grams. So probably get a mid-size on there for you, up the weight of the rubber, and then obviously controlling the size of that weight. Now, the unique thing about switch grips is it's not like a tour lock that goes deep into the handle. This screw is just a more dense material, and it's a very shallow plug, and the shallower the better, because it keeps it higher and has a bigger effect on swing weight.
Right.
So I would be looking at that for you, Drew. I'd be going with something like a switch grip concept.
Yeah. I think that would work quite nicely.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do we got?
Lots of questions here.
Well, just a little follow-up from QWERTY there. Thanks. Makes sense. I will look into reshafting into something stiffer. Good shout. Definitely good shout. To mitigate this in the future, then other than my swing, do I play in wet conditions a lot, just properly drying after each shot? So the biggest thing is when the club builders or whoever's building them, so when we put the tape on and we kind of put the tape over, over the top, and then we can obviously curve it around either side. You always want to leave about maybe half an inch over the end of the shaft, and then you want to twist that and push it in to create basically a blockage so no moisture can get down into that grip. That's important because the little hole obviously in the top of the grip, if moisture gets down in there, which is gonna, if there's nothing there to block it getting down into the shaft, moisture will just creep in there, and it doesn't have to be rain or anything like that. It can be from humid conditions,
just like the humidity and such,
things like that. So you want to make sure when the grips are being done that process is being done correctly.
Makes sense. Go to a good place. We didn't get this, did we, Stephen? Stephen, hello from Australia. Shaft and head recommendation for high launch, low spin, serious smother. 92 mile an hour 7-iron, 14-degree launch. A lot of numbers here. Tons of spin. I tried Modus 130. Okay, so he wants... I guess he wants to find a way to get his irons to launch higher and spin less.
Golf ball.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I think you need to change the ball.
I would go to try. I would try Left Dash Pro V1X, Callaway Chromesoft XLS. I think both of those will launch nicely, a little bit higher, with less spin for sure.
Definitely.
It's 92 in the 7-iron, so I mean, if you have the ability, Stephen, to go to a fitting centre, maybe to see if they have like a Project X LS, if they have an X7. What else? I don't think Dynamic Gold is going to be what you want. It'll generally launch a little lower and spin a little more.
Right.
I don't think that's going to be what you want in like an X100 or something. I don't think that'll be ideal. Maybe C taper as well, 130. But I think KB Tour and Modus 130X they're the wrong profiles for you.
But the golf ball big time.
Definitely. Edward is asking, are we going to the show, Matty boy?
I expect we'll be there.
We will be
in
there.
2022.
Yes.
Hard to believe that we weren't there in 2021.
I know. I mean, we've only missed one, but it really feels like we've missed
I feel like
quite
we
a
haven't
lot
been there
more.
in 10 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am very certain you will see us there, Edward, in 2022.
Kyle is producing some great questions today. What tour pros do you think would be the best fit as employees at TXG? And which would be the worst?
Okay. I want to try to put Kyle's question up. Best employees would be someone like Charles Howell III.
Yeah.
I want to say like Phil. Honestly, Phil is so into clubs.
He's into it.
He'd be a little bit niche, perhaps.
I know. And then I just think like Bryson would be just so much. Like I don't know if we could allocate enough time for Bryson. He'd be thinking about options.
His fits would be 12 hours long.
Beyond. So I'm going to put him down as
maybe not so much.
Not ideal.
Who would be the worst? Let's think of someone who just literally doesn't know anything about their clubs.
DJ.
So true. DJ would be.
What driver do you use? A TaylorMade.
No. It's TaylorMade.
Remember that one?
Yep.
Said I call it. What driver do you use, DJ? Yeah, TaylorMade.
Yeah. Thanks.
We know.
Yeah.
The big
Hey,
logo on your hat.
Can I try that new
says
TaylorMade, DJ? Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't think you'd be hiring him. Good question. Great question. Hilarious.
We like those. More of those.
Yes.
We like those. James was recently fit into a Sim 2 Max 9 degree.
James.
Mitsubishi Fubuki shaft. Swing speed 100-ish with a pretty smooth and neutral path. Thoughts? Why don't we hear much more about Fubuki shafts anymore?
They do seem to have gone a little bit out of
Yeah,
trend.
they have for sure. I think Fubuki was always, other than Fubuki V, they were always a little more launchy and things like that. And kind of the design of heads and shafts have kind of went more the other way, hasn't it?
Yes.
Trying to kind of kill spin and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
so
good point. I remember those being like it'll raise your launch and lower your spin, like those type of shafts. And I think
painful.
Obviously that doesn't exist, so maybe those shaft designs ceasing to exist makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. But
if it fits you well, I mean, it's not like it can't work.
Absolutely. I mean, really good. I think there's lots of other good shafts out there that will give you similar results, James. But I don't know of any top fitting company that's carrying Fubuki anymore.
No way.
Is it even offered anymore, Mikey? Fubukis.
Fubuki.
Are they even in the lineup anymore? I haven't seen them for a long time. We had Fubukis in our demo matrix about 3 years ago. Fubuki, the V, Fubuki J. Yeah, so little tungsten in the handle, higher balance point, softer tip. Fubuki V was actually tungsten lower down, so talking about balance points and things like that, that was good for that.
Yeah, they offer V in the MV series.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Tyler wants to know if Arcos data would be helpful for a fitter, or do fitters prefer to form their own judgment in person? I would say your fitter would love your Arcos data, and if they don't, then you probably shouldn't get fit by them.
Definitely.
Yeah, very helpful.
Gregory's asking, Dear Ian, could you get Phil to hit more fairways off the tee?
I probably think you could.
I think most fitters would fancy their chances at that. Sometimes though, I think Phil is just going to override that with just how he goes after it. I think Phil just wants to hit it far. I don't really think Phil is just trying to be on for enough weeks of the year to win a few times, and I don't actually think he's all that worried. I mean, he's using a 6-degree driver.
No. not that
long 6-degree driver. I don't think he's trying to. And then he obviously is the mini driver for hitting a few more fairways, and he was very effective with that. But Phil has a high rate of rotation when it comes to the club face. He has the handle a little bit too elevated, which causes a high rate of rotation.
Okay.
So his eternal struggle has to be shallow enough that basically it stabilizes the face and through impact. That's been his eternal struggle with the driver.
Yeah.
So it's
always been that way.
Handle up
right?
a little bit, so he either flips at it or he blocks it. It's just what it is.
The way it is.
That's why he's a very, very good iron and wedge player, and he's very underrated with his iron play because he's a little on the steeper side.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Jesse here. Jesse Foster went for a driver fitting club champion and snapped several of the club heads off the shafts. What? Any idea what's up with their hardware? 117 club head speed. I know they have a unique proprietary connector system, Jesse. I can obviously I can see that, but other than that, I don't know why they would be snapping. One thing we can see at times at high speed, and I'm not sure if this was the case, but high speed heel strikes can apply significant torque to the head. I mean, it doesn't tend to be as bad off the toe or the lower high, but heel strikes tend to make the head deflect quite aggressively, and we've seen our own system, the Club Connect system break from time to time. A screw can snap or something like that. We saw it in the bracket, didn't we?
Yes.
The poor TSI 3.
I've broken a number of things in this poor shop, so it happens.
Yep.
What else we got here?
Dom's asking, thanks for the feedback. Who is your dream foursome to play with? No time limit. So go back as far as you want. Who do you want to play with? As far back as you want.
I'm so not a golf historian. I'm gonna change mine. Slightly every time because I know we answer this all the time.
I know.
2 of mine are always gonna stay the same, and then one of them I'm just gonna keep peppering someone new. So I would like to have played with Arnie. Like Arnold Palmer in his probably, I don't know, late 30s or something.
Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it?
I would still play with Tiger. I'm not saying like I prefer it. Doesn't have to be 20s Tiger, but Tiger.
Yeah.
And today's flavor that I'm going to throw in is I would like to have played with John Daly. Maybe young John Daly though.
Right.
That's my current one, just because I'm going to change it every time because I don't want to keep answering the same thing.
A wild thing.
And we get asked this almost every week. That's my current one.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to want to see Tiger do it, up close.
How could you not, right?
You're going to want to see that.
Yeah.
Ben Hogan, I've always said I would love to have seen Hogan play the game and just pick apart a golf course.
That's true. That would have been very interesting.
That would have been very, very good to see.
Different game at the time too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Who else would have been good to see? I mean, all these people through the years, characters. I love the Arnie. I love the Arnie shout. He really just would have been good to play with. I bet everybody walked off the course playing with Arnie, going, "What a day!
Yeah, I had a good time.
What a good time!"
Yes, that's how I feel about it.
Lots
too.
of good shots and this and that, but
and that's why it's not a knock on Jack. I think Jack
yeah.
would be cool to play with, and at the time, I just don't know it would be the same experience that I'm looking for.
I know.
Quite as fun.
I know. Yeah, I just think as a 4-ball as well, think of the dynamic of the 4-ball. I think if you even think of putting, Arnie, Jack, and Tom Watson as the other three.
Yeah,
just to watch those
because
they'd start getting into each other, wouldn't they? Start being really kind of like, oh, remember that time I took you down at this tournament and that, and that'd be fantastic. So
a little fly on the wall.
Yeah, from a golf perspective, I mean, there's other people I'd rather play that are more personal to me.
Of course.
But from a golfing sense, I think any one of those would be a lot of fun.
All right. Love it. Andy wants to know, is there much of a difference between a $200 putter and a $400 plus putter if both are fitted? Interesting question. So both have been fitted.
Mm-hmm.
One, mucho expensivo, maybe because it's milled or something sexy.
Yep. and a $200 one.
Which is maybe insert putter or something like that.
Yeah, I think Cleveland had a line a couple of years ago, the Huntington
I remember that.
Huntington line
Beach.
at Huntington Beach or something like it was called. It was their like signature line from their headquarters. I just thought that thing just looked so good for it.
Yeah.
It was like a well, I think it was US. It was like $99.
Here it was like $149 or something, and that's outrageous.
I
Here.
remember thinking like that's fantastic value. It looked pretty good. Had a little milling in the face and stuff like that. I thought that was great value. So
Definitely.
at the end of the day, I don't buy into really, the most expensive being the best.
No.
Never. I don't buy into it with shafts. I don't buy into it really with anything. Just performance and being fitted will override all of those things.
Yep. I agree.
Always. So just being fitted. $200 putter versus a $400 putter. I mean, I'd be an example of I don't like the feel of a Scotty Cameron putter. Never have.
It's true. It doesn't necessarily suit you. You might
I
not
just
like it.
don't like how it feels off the face, and obviously more expensive. I don't love how an even roll feels off the face. I've tried two very popular putters. It's just not my preference at all. The only Scotty I ever liked, I had a 009 that was really nice off the face. I regret every single day of ever getting rid of it.
Oh no. Should track it down for you. You're out there somewhere, 009.
Sweetheart. Come back to me.
Spend your $200 elsewhere if you're on the fence. Get fit. From AP.
AP McCoy.
I was fit to a TSI 4 8 degree with an Atmos Tour Spec 8 blue, extra stiff, clubhead speed 119. So obviously very fast and produces a lot of spin. What are some other combos you might suggest? I'm just not sure if I was set on the feel. Fair enough. So somebody who was fit to that sort of outrageous, heavy, low spin machine might also enjoy what?
I mean, I think the lowest spinning heads of all the ones that we've tried so far this year has been the Sim 2 8 degree. So I'd probably say, stabilize things a little bit, potentially with that. TSI 4s, if you're dime in the middle of the head and your name's Adam Scott, you're probably just fine.
Yep.
But I think there's very few people who are in that range.
Fair. What about Callaway's? Even like one of the triple double diamond or something like that?
Callaway's philosophy has really changed though. I mean, I think if you want a low spin driver from Callaway, you need to go back to Maverick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you think the newer ones aren't as low spin?
They definitely are trying to retain more spin. So I think you'd have to go back to Maverick Sub-Zero.
Gotcha.
To get that spin rate down. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone really offer a significantly lower spin driver this year. TSI 4 and probably Sim 2 are the lowest spinning driver heads in the drawer. In terms of the weight, I can't tell you the last time I fit somebody into an 8X. I'll be honest about that.
It's a heavy thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so
seems like an odd choice.
Yeah, it could be. But you may be a super loader, maybe somebody who just pulls hard on the handle and kind of needs the weight just for that timing element. If that's the case, I think that RPG 472 M5 Plus, if you can get your hands on one of those at a custom shop like us, that would be a great option for you. Ventus Black 7X, very stable, very stiff, things like that.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's grab a couple more. Guys, if you haven't asked a question, please don't ask one now because we're going to grab a couple more. Brian wants to know where is the best place to buy a Diamana S Plus 70 hybrid shaft for a Titleist hybrid. Can you buy that?
Yeah, I think you could probably. You probably pick one. You probably pick one up online. To be honest,
like an eBay thing
or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's probably an eBay thing, Brian.
Yep.
Because those came out of Titleist.
Yeah, and any Titleist retailer, can sell you one of those as well.
True. Okay. Easy. And sorry, one more here.
Go for it, pal.
At what point would someone start to look at extra stiff shafts? Currently swing my 7-iron at around 90 to 92, and I'm 21. So I doubt I'm going to lose speed soon. Fair enough. So at what point would someone start to look at extra stiff if you're swinging the 7-iron at that speed?
Yeah, right around now. 21 years old, not going to lose speed, probably going to gain some speed. You're in stiff already.
Yeah.
In stiff already. You're there right now. Just don't overburden yourself with too much weight early on if you're just making the transition into X. So maybe like a Modus 120X or something along those lines to start with. But 6.5 Project X, that's X Flex, but 125 grams, things like that.
Good choices.
Lots of shouts. I can't believe you missed this one. Sevi for the Fantasy 4 ball. That's a great shout.
Right. So, yeah, that short game would have been
shout.
something crazy to see, wouldn't it?
But I loved to have seen Sevi do it.
Especially in the bunkers.
Somebody who can join me walking into the woods to get my golf
Except
ball.
he gets it out every single
Exactly.
time. Okay, officially no more questions, but we will take these two. Derek went from JPX 900 with Modus 105. Stuff was stolen. He went with P790s in the same shaft, which he can't seem to get on with. Can the head weight be playing a factor? So JPX 900s to P790s, same shafts.
Yep, could be for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think there's probably a few more things at play than just the shaft.
Different clubs.
Yeah,
there,
two different heads, very different stuff going on with that. Unfortunately, Derek, I hate to hear that, buddy. It's one of the reasons why we do what we do here at TXG. I mean, when we build every set of golf clubs for somebody, that is the DNA, the blueprint DNA of your set. So if you ever do have a club, a set stolen, we can literally replicate the exact head weight, swing weight, frequency, length. We literally are going to decimals of a gram, we're going to basically rebuild that set for you. So, you'll never even notice the difference.
Know the difference, yeah.
It's one of the benefits of having a custom set. We can rebuild them that way.
But it's not out of the question, though, that you'd be feeling a little off with those P790. It's just a very different club, isn't it? Ball flight is very, very different. Okay, last one officially. Will Brown. Will is asking about iron shafts, is that right? Yeah, fitted for ZX5, so Strixons. Aerotech steel fiber 110s, plus half an inch. He loves the feel. Doesn't have the money for steel fibers, fair enough. Okay, so for someone in that boat that wants to maybe maintain the performance that they were fit for, but I mean, that must cost what, $80-90 a shaft in upcharges, something like that?
Probably something along those lines, yeah.
What could we do for Will that would be less expensive?
And from Strixon, I mean, I'm probably going to say something like C-Taper Light 110, C-Taper Light Stiff. Well, if Strixon offer those, I'd have a look at that. I'd have a look at something like, I mean, you're probably going to end up out of graphite at this point.
It probably, right?
Probably. If you're looking at the stock stuff that's not an upcharge, you're probably out of graphite. Yeah, I think C-Taper Light 110s, Modus 105 stiff as well might be a nice option.
That seems. I've heard you say that before, right?
Yeah.
Modus 105 stiff, just a nice kind of
just
soft.
to offset the length a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
I think those would be good options for you, Will.
Okay, well. All right, lad. Any closing thoughts? John says congrats on the new baby, Ian.
Oh, thank you, John.
Thank
Thank you.
Any
She's
closing
doing
thought?
well.
Yeah, everything good?
Yeah, she's doing good.
Good.
Doing good.
Good.
She could do with a few lessons on how to sleep a few hours
Uh-oh.
extra hours at night, but
She'll figure that out.
comes.
She'll figure that out.
I think that comes with the territory. Are we cheering on England on Wednesday? Raj is asking. Absolutely, yes.
Who are they playing?
Denmark semi-final of the Euros.
Not a big Denmark fan, are you? Who's it? Don't we know someone who's a Denmark fan?
Denmark fan.
Am I
Who would
crazy?
that be?
Oh,
Are you thinking of Tom in Norway? Thinking of Tom Horley?
Maybe.
Maybe Tom.
I'm thinking of Horley. Yeah.
I think Bandit can attest to this. That I definitely am not. There's lots of Scottish people who don't wish for England to do.
Oh, is that right?
To do well, lots. Yeah.
Okay.
But no, definitely for me, I spend enough time watching Premier League football that I have more of an attachment to the players than really any other team. So
That's fair enough.
I like to see the players do well. I like the young talent that they have. I think it's good to see some freshness and stuff like that. So
Nice.
it's really, really good. So love to see them. I think they will beat Denmark. I think it'll be a lot closer than the Ukraine game, so I can maybe see them sneaking through, maybe going 2-0 up and maybe finishing 2-1 or something. It's a little nervy at the end. And then I think it could be Italy in the final, and that's going to be a really good final.
That's a crazy final.
And
that's what everyone's always looking for, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Something like that?
Definitely. Hoping that the home advantage in the final gets them over the line and they win the whole thing. Be nice to see.
Okay. You heard it here first. On a golf show.
On a golf show. Exactly.
Whatever
Q&A
this is.
golf show. I know. Whatever we are.
Whatever it is that we do. Okay. Sweet.
Good stuff, guys. We have.
You'll see a video on the new TaylorMade 300. I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Mini driver.
Yeah, embargo tomorrow.
I don't even know if we're allowed to show it, so I won't.
Yeah, true.
I'll put that out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then you will see a review of the Inesis 900, their high-end irons, direct-to-consumer irons. You'll see that this week.
Definitely.
You will see those Tuesday, probably like Tuesday, Thursday, or something like that.
Yes.
Anything else to add there?
No other business at hand. Delighted to be back open. Delighted to have customers back in the door.
Some normalcy.
Feels like it. Feels like we're getting back to that sort of way of life. It's a little bit more free flowing around the place.
Good.
Yeah,
I'm
you
glad to
feeling
hear
that a little bit more?
It's getting there a little bit when you're out in public.
Have you been out for a dinner yet or anything?
I have once. Yeah, so it was nice.
Nice, isn't it?
It was still weird, but it's better than nothing. So yes, we're moving. We are moving. It's not stagnant, so we will live with it.
We will. Guys, we'll be back here next Monday. We will have Rob here for the remainder of his...
we'll get him in for some irons and wedges.
Irons, wedges, and putter.
That's right.
And putter.
Rob,
come Monday.
Do some grinding, but don't exhaust yourself.
Exactly. Good stuff.
Okay.
Have a good week, guys.